When did the class clown go way too far? Jake was the guy who could make anyone laugh, even our strictest teachers. He had this talent for perfectly timed jokes and pranks that pushed boundaries just enough to be funny, but not enough to get expelled. At least that's how it was until March 15th of senior year. That day changed everything. Jake had been planning something big for weeks. I'd catch him smirking at his phone during lunch, typing away with this mischievous grin. His pranks were getting more elaborate. Last month, he programmed the library computers to play Rick Astley whenever someone tried to print. Even the librarian had to admit it was clever. But Jake was getting cocky. He discovered some vulnerability in the school's announcement system while messing around in computer science class. Apparently, our IT security was about as strong as wet tissue paper. He bragged he could control the whole PA system from his phone. The morning of March 15th started normally. We were in third period when the principal announced a lockdown drill over the intercom. Standard procedure: lock doors, hide under desks, stay quiet. We'd done this routine a dozen times. But about 5 minutes in, Jake pulled out his phone. Suddenly, the intercom crackled to life, but instead of the principal's voice, we heard heavy breathing. Then a distorted voice started speaking. "This is not a drill. Armed intruder in building B. I repeat, this is not a drill." The panic was instant. Kids started crying. Our teacher, Mrs. Peterson, went white as a sheet. She fumbled with her keys trying to double-check the door was locked. Some students were frantically texting their parents. Then it got worse. Jake, thinking he was being hilarious, added sound effects. Gunshots, screaming. He even threw in what sounded like breaking glass. One girl in our class started hyperventilating and collapsed. Mrs. Peterson was trying to call 911, but her hands were shaking so bad she kept dropping her phone. The chaos lasted maybe 3 minutes, but it felt like hours. Suddenly, the real principal's voice cut through. "False alarm. This is Principal Martinez. False alarm." The previous announcement was unauthorized, but the damage was done. Parents were already racing to the school. Police cars came screaming into the parking lot. 3 teachers had medical emergencies. Mrs. Davidson from the math department fainted and hit her head. Mr. Brooks had what looked like a heart attack, and Coach Williams injured his back trying to barricade the gym doors. Jake got caught within the hour. Turned out he'd been bragging about his access to the school's systems in our computer science group chat. When they searched his phone, they found an app he'd created specifically to hijack the PA system. The fallout was insane. Jake was arrested right there in the principal's office. They charged him with inducing panic, making terroristic threats, and cybercrimes. His parents had to hire some expensive lawyer who specialized in juvenile cybercrime cases. The school board held an emergency meeting that night. Parents were furious. The local news picked up the story. Senior prank gone wrong sends school into lockdown panic. Jake's face was all over social media, but not in the way he'd always wanted. Mrs. Davidson ended up with a concussion and couldn't work for 6 weeks. Mr. Brooks survived his heart episode but took early retirement. Several students needed therapy to deal with the trauma. One freshman's parents pulled him out of school entirely. The judge didn't find Jake's "it was just a prank" defense very convincing. He got 6 months in juvenile detention, 2 years probation, and 500 hours of community service. Every college that had accepted him withdrew their offers. His full scholarship to state vanished. Last I heard, Jake's working at his uncle's auto shop, trying to save money for community college. He's banned from using computers except for basic stuff, monitored by his probation officer. The ironic thing, he has to give talks at local schools about the dangers of pranks and cybercrime. The rest of us graduated without him. Our yearbook had this awkward empty space where his senior photo should have been. The school implemented crazy new security measures. Now you need a keycard just to use the bathroom. Sometimes I wonder if Jake thinks about that morning, how different things could have been if he'd just stuck to harmless pranks. Our school counselor said Jake wrote apology letters to every teacher and student affected. Mrs. Davidson never responded to hers.